welcome to my Facebook Live about stress. It has been a hot minute since I've done one of these because I have children and they have been home, and it's challenging to go live when you have kids interrupting you every couple of minutes. I decided to do this Facebook Live because I have some tips that I want to share with you about stress. I have been doing Noom for the past couple of months because I was really interested in the idea that they were going to share some psychology in their app about eating. And lately we've been talking about stress, and they had a couple of really good tips. Sometimes we tend to think that we're doing something when we stress about our stress. When we think about it, when we worry about it, when we plan on it, things that we can do about it. But we're really not. It feels more comfortable to think about things than to actually take action. So sometimes we just stew about the amount of stress in our lives and we don't do anything about it. So therefore it just gets worse and worse. So here are 8 very simple, practical tips for some things that you can do to manage your own stress. These would also be fantastic to share with your team because, like I said, they are very easy. The hardest part is remembering to do them. So number 1 is to create an "oh well" statement. This does not mean that you're giving up. It's just a way to remind yourself that things don't always go according to plan and that sometimes we feel stressed. It's a way of acknowledging that you're feeling stressed and that you are going to do something about it. So some examples are, you could say, "oh well, good is good enough." And you could try breathing in on "I am" and breathing out on "okay." You could try thinking, "oh well, I'm feeling stressed and that's part of life and I can handle it." Basically, come up with a few simple phrases that you can think when you're feeling stressed so that you're actually acknowledging that you're feeling stressed. Name it. It may not come out as the word stress. It might be anxious or nervous or something like that. But take the time to take a deep breath, acknowledge what's happening, and then make a plan. So the second thing is to make a plan. Pick one thing that you can do. Stop multitasking and start single tasking. I am so guilty of this. I try and do 10 things at once, and then I feel really stressed about it because I'm not completing any of them. So I'm working harder on the "just do it" slogan and trying to pick one thing and complete it. Number 3, get present. Stress usually appears when we're thinking about the future or sometimes about the past. So when you're feeling anxious, your muscles are tightening, your breathing is going up, or whatever stress looks like for you, just stop for a minute, like I said, take a breath, and get present. Notice what's going on around you right now in this minute. What do you smell? What do you see? What does your body feel like? Number 4, I love this one. Write an "I have done" list. Forget about your to-do list for a little while, especially very first thing in the morning, and start thinking about all of the amazing things that you have already done. I created a board in my Trello app. I live on that app a while back and started doing this, and it made a massive difference. When summer hit, I forgot about it and just kind of got caught up in the chaos of having the kids home. And I've noticed a difference. I feel more anxious when I don't take the time to realize that I am doing so many amazing things already. I'm thinking about the next meal, the next snack, the kids coming home, what I need to do for my business, etc. And I don't take the time to really feel grateful for the things that I've done in the past. Number 5, this is a very simple one, is to simply smile. When we are stressed, our physical bodies have a reaction to that. And simply smiling can actually change that response. And when you change your body's state, you often also change your emotional state. So when things are crazy and chaotic, take a minute to just smile and think of something you're grateful for or something that you've done. Take a breath and then move on. Number 6, this is another one I'm very guilty of. Stop saying "I am busy" and "I have so much to do." These phrases become habits, and sometimes we almost take pride in the amount of things that we have on our list because it means that we belong to someone, that we belong to something, and that things are important in our lives. However, repeating those over and over and over again just adds more stress. It doesn't resolve anything. So notice those thoughts when they pop up and replace them with something else. Even if you just add on "I'm so busy" out of habit and say, "but I can handle busy," or "I only have to do one thing at a time." 7, learn JOMO. So many of you have heard of FOMO, or the fear of missing out. You can switch this a little bit and start thinking about the joy of missing out. What are you adding to your life because you've said no to XYZ? If you said no to your teen taking on their 3rd or 4th extracurricular activity, What joy is coming into your life and to their life because you said no to that? What space have you created? What time have you created to have a family meal or to spend time together as a family? What goals have you been able to reach because you said no to something else? There is a lot of joy in simplifying and in choosing wisely what we've done. When everything shut down, I was joking about this with a friend the other day. We were all so excited that we were going to so intentionally choose what we were going to put back in our lives, right? We had these months of quiet where everything was canceled. Well, I don't know about you, but everything's pretty much the same as it was before. As soon as school started happening and meetings and all these different things, we've kind of fallen back into our pre-quarantine habits. So now that the kids are in school, I do want to sit down for a few minutes and make sure that everything that we are doing for a purpose and that we know what that purpose is. Finally, my last tip is to create your stress SOS plan. So SOS stands for signs, opportunities, and solutions. So first, notice what your stressors are. I asked a question earlier in the week about that. People mentioned things like finances and health and issues with their teens, things like that. So what things cause you stress? What are the stressors? And then what is your response to those stressors? Because all of those things exist, right? But it's our response to them that causes most of the stress in our lives. What are your thoughts? What are your reactions? How does your body react? Next, look at the different opportunities. How could you handle this stressor? What can you do? What actions could you take? Look at, like I said, the thought distortions or the meaning that you're giving to different events. Finally, actually make a plan. So this is where we often fall apart because plans take effort. So we like to think about it and make the plan, and then we often don't actually follow through on it. Especially because in the moment that we're experiencing stress, there's often a lot going on. So we think we don't have the time to do something differently. So if you make an SOS plan of what you're going to do the next time you're stressed, say it's the witching hour at dinner time and your kids are coming home and all these things, what is something that you could do differently at that time that would alleviate your stress? So pick one of these to try this week and let me know what it is in the comment section. Thanks for joining me.